Welcome everyone to the third episode of our InnerCamp Podcast. I'm very happy, very honored to have Marjolein today with us.
I haven't really experienced anxiety. It's not an energy, it's not an emotion that I struggle a lot with, but I did struggle a lot with depression. So I had several burnouts. The first one was really because I was working in this field of high pressure, high performance, constantly feeling the pressure of performing, but also the societal pressure of like who you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to do when you're around 30 years old, and actually feeling that didn't fit with what was internally, but at the same time it was normalized.
One person saying, you know what, I was thinking about myself, about committing suicide, and then I just came to one workshop. I practiced breathwork, and this changed my life. I realized that, hey, there is an exit. It's possible to change my life. It's possible to love myself. It's possible to be okay. And she found some lights, some hope.
But every week we had a breathwork session, and that changed everything for me. And as a result, what I didn't expect was that my business started to grow incredibly. Besides that, I lost a lot of weight. It's not like 25 kilos, but still like 5 or 7 kilos or something. It just went. I think that was related definitely to releasing emotionally and energetically and physically, literally, from the body.
You know, I love innovation. We are always bringing new stuff to headphones, new technology, new things. We are always innovating, but many of those insights came with breathwork. Sometimes it was not like, a 90-minute session. Sometimes it was 5 minutes of just sitting and then doing breathwork. And I wanted to remove the ego mind, find the solutions to our problems. So those insights came to me. They took all our money. So for example, at InnerCamp, we spent like more than 15,000 pounds. And then they just canceled the festival and they moved to Miami, and they have like a luxury yachts company there. What can I do? Because it's really hard to get the money back. And the thing was, imagine for me, it's like I lost all this money that it was so hard for me to earn. So what can I do? And one of the biggest lessons is to surrender and to say, I lost the money, I'm okay. Maybe if I really relax and I surrender and then I open myself to receive more, to manifest maybe more clients, more money, then I'm going to get even more money than what I lost. Marjolein, welcome to the third episode.
Thank you, Alexis.
And today we have a special surprise because this episode is going to be uncut, meaning that there is no edition at all. So if we make any mistakes, they're going to be there. We're going to show our human side. So they will not be designed, not edition at all today.
So we can be triggered. We cannot be perfect.
A
challenge here.
Yes. And today we are going to be talking about breathwork. We will be talking about some interesting cases we have experienced in the past. We're going to talk about the future of this movement as well. So are you ready, Marjolein, for this?
Absolutely.
Amazing. So there is a lot of breathwork lately. So when I started like 12 years ago, there was not so much breathwork. Breathwork was something very unknown, and it's like not many people knew about breathwork. And now breathwork, you can find many sessions out there. Many things are happening. And actually it's a very important moment in history for breathwork. Why do you think that now in 2025, breathwork is so important?
Good question. I feel that there's such an enormous amount of healing modalities that we can work with, but a lot of them are actually asking us to be calm and still in the mind, to be in a meditation kind of mode. And for a lot of us, because we live in such a fast-paced world, it's really challenging to do that. And breathwork has the movement, it has the thing that we have to do something for, to reach something or to get something or to work for something. And it's such a modality that works for everyone. Like if you're very up in your mind, you can still do breathwork. If you are very experienced in the field or in exploring yourself and self-discovery, you can still do breathwork and gain so much from it. So that accessibility of the breath is what makes it so powerful. And I think that shows in the world that it's a growing modality that people are working with. Thank God.
Yeah, and it's actually a modality that works for everyone, and actually more needed than in the past, because we have so much stress. We have so much burnout. We are in a situation right now, in an epidemic, we could say, of stress, burnout. Yeah. There is a lot of anxiety in the world right now. So what is your experience with burnout, with anxiety, with those cases? Because I know you work with many people as well in those situations.
Well, I see I would say like 80 to 85% of my clientele is suffering either from depression or from anxiety. And this is kind of like normal in society, that we have some kind of anxiety, or maybe not in this moment, but we've experienced anxiety, we've experienced depression. And I think it's mainly because we live in that fast pace constantly, with the disconnection from our bodies, with the disconnection from the nature, and we don't know how to reconnect. And breathwork is therefore like a helpful tool to overcome anxiety, to overcome depression, and so many other things. On a more personal note, because I think you want to go there as well, right?
Yes.
So I haven't really experienced anxiety. It's not an energy, or it's not an emotion that I struggle a lot with, but I did struggle a lot with depression and also with burnout. So I had several burnouts. The first one was really because I was working in this field of high pressure, high performance, constantly needing to do better, constantly feeling the pressure of performing, but also the societal pressure of like who you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to do when you're around 30 years old, and actually feeling that didn't fit with what was internally, but at the same time that was what was normalized. So it took me quite some years to get out of that structure. And to be honest, like I'm still in it. Probably you can recognize in that as well. Like you try to be as free as possible, but there's still conditioning that you'll find more layers of that. But the breath work, when I embarked on the training with InnerCamp 5 years ago, because I was one of the students, I was mainly working on connecting more with my truth and overcoming the resistance or the limiting beliefs around being good enough and feeling my worth. And that was very, like, in short, what came to it. But yeah, I think the burnout, the breath work helped to clear the pieces that I worked on before in other therapies, but then more on like an emotional level and energetic level.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I also had some burnout as well. So I started with 12 years ago with burnout as well. And I didn't like what I had. I didn't like my life. And this is when I started with breathwork as well. And I still have sometimes some burnout when I'm working so much. And then my body's saying, hey, no, this is too much. You need to stop. And even my body's signaling is saying, hey, you need to stop. This is not right for you. You need to rest. You need to gain some free time as well.
Yeah.
And the other day I had an interesting conversation because someone told me, but you know what? In the past, people work like longer, more hours. So jobs were like more difficult. So we're very physical. So we were in factories and then people were working maybe 12 hours per day. And we didn't talk about burnout. We didn't talk about psychology, mental health. So they just went to the factories, they worked many hours and that's all. And people were not concerned about burnout or about mental health. And yeah, it's true. It's true that they were working really long, but they were working for 12 hours, but then they went back home and then they didn't have, Instagram. They were not scrolling. They didn't have emails and they had to attend emails. Oh, maybe my boss is sending an email. I need to check. So they were able to disconnect. Even physically it was like more intense, more work, but psychologically they had the opportunity to rest more and to have more balance in their lives. Nowadays, this is not happening. Maybe our jobs are super easy in terms of the physical, it's like maybe you're on a desk and then just using your laptop. But still you are triggered psychologically, you are not able to rest, you're checking your emails at midnight, and then it's hard for you to rest and to really have more freedom, let's say, more rest, and to come back more to this parasympathetic and to have more balanced life.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree on that one. And I think the disconnectedness comes from being always connected in the social media and internet realms, that we always have to be available. So we have to be available for the outside world, but we're not really available for ourselves.
Yeah, right. And sometimes I'm so impressed with what people say when they come to our on-site workshops. We meet thousands of people every year. So last year, I think we met like more than 10,000 people. And I'm impressed sometimes because I remember one case of one person saying, you know what, I was thinking about killing myself, about committing suicide. And then I just came to one workshop. I practiced breathwork, and this changed my life. I realized that, hey, there is an exit. It's possible to change my life. It's possible to love myself. It's possible to be okay. And she found some lights, some hope. And sometimes breathwork is just about finding light. It's about finding hope. It's about coming back to your body and saying, I'm okay. It's okay. So we don't need to reach those mystical states, super spiritual states. So it doesn't need to be always like that. So sometimes it's about stopping. Sometimes it's about taking the time for yourself and saying, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I can enjoy my food. I can enjoy my body. I can enjoy the present moment. Yep. And this is something that we don't know. We didn't learn, or we have really forgotten.
Yeah. I think that's one of the powers of breathwork as well. It's like when we are entering in a journey like that, and we get to feel, even if it's a glimpse, we get to feel for a moment that we are okay and that we have this right to be here on the earth, like what you were describing. When we have that sensation, if we felt it in that space, it means that we recognize the feeling, we can let it grow. Otherwise, it's a concept in our minds, like we want to feel good, but we have no idea how it feels. And breathwork can give you those sensations. And then with the integration of that, you can learn to go back to that moment and let it grow and integrate more into your body. And that's, I think, one of the powers of this modality.
Yeah, and some people call it the new yoga.
It is yoga of the soul.
Yoga of the soul.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually yoga, like I remember when I was a kid, like in the 80s, yoga was not so famous. So there were some yoga studios coming mainly to some, for example, to California, coming to some states, so it was not so known like in the Western countries.
Yeah.
But now yoga is super normal, it's super common. It's like breathwork. Breathwork is becoming so common, so normalized. And this was not in the past. I can remember when you studied, for example, in 2020, you did your training. So I remembered also the people who came to the trainings, they were like not the normal people, right? So they were like more, let's say people looking for something completely different.
Yeah.
So the audience was completely different. So now we attract people who are psychologists, who work already, for example, with medicine, doctors. We have people with a very strong scientific background. We have people already working with other people, supporting other people. We have people who are accountants, who are really doing an office job, and they're coming to breathwork and they are super interested and they know that it really works.
Yeah.
So it's not anymore for the hippies and the alternative people, let's say.
Is that what you saw was changing over the years slowly?
This is totally what I saw in the last years. I remember even when I started, for me, I had my limiting belief that in order to teach this, in order to be a breathwork facilitator, you had to be somehow some kind of alternative hippie person. And if you see the photos of the first retreats, they were like very hippie style. And sometimes I felt like, hey, this is not my style. This is not me. I mean, I'm everything. So I don't like having like labels and saying I'm this person or that person. I just enjoy whatever. But I felt like this was not me, and I was trying to make it up. And then at some point I realized that, hey, I can be myself, and I can teach breathwork, and I can still be a spiritual person. Because in the past I felt like if you are a spiritual person, you cannot wear, for example, a shirt. You need to behave, you need to be like this. And also you need to be even perfect. You cannot make mistakes.
Yeah.
Being spiritual was about not making mistakes. So I had to be so careful.
Yeah.
This happened to you, or?
I was in a lucky position to have some really good teachers who were emphasizing on this specific topic. Like, spirituality is not in the way that you're acting, but spirituality is something that you are having inside of you, and everyone is spiritual. So it's not like you stick a feather in your hair and you're spiritual, or you eat vegan and then you're spiritual. That's not the case. But are you living from the heart? Are your actions aligned with your words, with your deeds? That is for me spirituality. And so I was lucky to learn this. But yes, I did have those moments where I felt I should be different or I should eat different. For me, it was always very much around eating. But now I can feel like that was a bit of nonsense, but it's like, I think it's growing, isn't it?
Yes, and I destroyed completely this episode because I didn't plan to talk about the spirituality, but as we are doing an uncut edition
there,
today,
right?
so it's like, okay, we need to talk about the spirituality, so what else can we do? Yeah, but actually it's not only about the spirituality and about having mystical states, it's also about, for example, peak performance.
Absolutely.
As well in breathwork. There are athletes, for example, that use breathwork. Tony Robbins, for example, every day, every morning, or also before going to stage, he's also using breathwork. There are many people using breathwork for performance, to improve the performance. So it's really amazing what is happening right now with breathwork, so that people can really use the part of breathwork that they need. It can be, hey, I want to raise my Kundalini, so I use breathwork. I want to improve my performance. For example, for CEOs are starting to use breathwork as well to perform better, to really get more insights, or creative people as well, artists as well, they're using breathwork as well. So how do you use breathwork for yourself?
It's very interesting that you asked this question, because when I was driving here today, I listened to a podcast of where we are right now in the energies, and we just like got into eclipse season, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I realized like, oh, what can I do to align myself like in the best possible way? And the first answer that I got was, use breathwork. Make that commitment again to show up a couple times per week and do the breath work with the intention to align everything in your life, whatever that may be, but to use that modality. And I think that showing up is what I've also experienced as being a student in InnerCamp, because every week I had to show up and I had to dedicate myself. It was actually at that time, I think 3 times a week that we gathered. But every week we had a breathwork session, and that changed everything for me, because it was about showing up. It was about dedication. And as a result, what I didn't expect was that my business started to grow incredibly. But besides that, I lost a lot of weight. Well, a lot. It's not like 25 kilos, but still like 5 or 7 kilos or something. It just went. And I think that was related definitely to releasing emotionally and energetically and physically, literally from the body. Yeah.
Amazing. Yes. And we see the science, because there is a lot of science already behind breathwork. So it makes totally sense, because we live in this survival mode all the time.
Yeah.
We are stressed. And then when we are stressed, with more cortisol, we create more fat. And we have more fat, for example, in the belly. And then this fat is not consumed, so it's not wasted.
Yeah.
So we have more weight. But when we do breathwork, we can activate the parasympathetic nervous system. We can relax. And then it's when we can burn this fat, is when our system is working better. And then, for example, the parasympathetic is the rest and digest, so we can digest. Our system is going to work better. So science is telling us that actually with breathwork we can lose weight, and we can have like a healthy body.
Yeah, for me personally, it felt like I was literally detoxifying myself on all these levels that we can work on: physical, emotional, energetic. But I was detoxifying my body on all these levels, and therefore a whole lot of different opportunities just opened up. And it's with such an easy thing as breath that we have, just every moment of the day we have breath available for us, right?
Yes. And actually you can really manipulate your nervous system at any time.
Yeah.
I remember one case. I was working in Japan. I was in Tokyo, and I was working for a big cosmetics brand. I cannot say the name. And there was an IT director, a very special one, that came to us, and she was very angry. She had a very strong character, and we were in a meeting, and I was so triggered. My legs were shaking. I was really feeling so scared. My sympathetic nervous system was super activated and saying, run away. You need to leave this. This is not okay for you. And I was so scared of this woman. And my body was communicating to me, was telling me, hey, you should not be here. This is not your place. But I know that, and after the meeting, I went to the toilet. I started to breathe, because I already knew about breathwork. And I just did 2 minutes of breathwork. And I was able to really remove all the shake. I was able to activate the parasympathetic nervous system and to say, I'm okay, I'm perfect. I surrender to what is going on here. I know that I'm not in a very good environment, but I'm okay.
Yeah.
And this message was so profound, so powerful. And studies say even that, hey, when you are in a stress mode all the time, in survival mode, this is affecting your health, your physical health, but also your mental health as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So how did breathwork, because you asked me the question, but how did breathwork help you in the peak performance?
In the peak performance, I have had the best insights when doing breathwork. Mm-hmm. So, I love innovation. At InnerCamp, we are always innovating headphones, new styles of breathwork, new technology, new things. We are always bringing new stuff to InnerCamp, But many of those insights came with breathwork. Mm-hmm. When I was doing breathwork, sometimes it was not like, a 90-minute session. Sometimes it was 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes of just sitting and then doing breathwork. So those insights came to me. Mm-hmm. So many people get insights when they go to the shower, It's because, when we surrender and when we are not thinking about the problem, it's normally when we get the insights, when we find the solutions to our problems. In my case, it works better when I'm doing breathwork. I'm surrendering because, when you are doing breathwork, what you are doing is that you are removing the ego mind, and then you can really surrender. You can go deeper inside, and then you can feel more. You can really be yourself. Mm. So for me, breathwork helps me identify what I want, change things, innovating, bringing new things to InnerCamp. So many of the times when I'm bringing something new, this is coming from breathwork, actually.
Wow, that's so cool. And it's also so important that we emphasize on that, because I think a lot of focus when we're doing breathwork is around what you need to release, right?
Yes.
But there's also, we can use the modality so well to get clarity on things. It's not always about releasing. It's sometimes about bringing in or inviting in or receiving something that was ours to have all the time. So that's beautiful that you've shared this.
And the lesson of surrendering as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because this is so hard. You work with all our students, and you know that in many cases, the main blockage is the fact of surrendering. Mm-hmm. Oh, it doesn't work. The first 10 minutes breathwork doesn't work for me. What can I do? I want to be perfect. I want to be the most spiritual person in the room.
Yeah.
So, and it's about just surrendering. It's about saying, I'm okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we don't really see all the value of surrendering. And surrendering is super important.
And for many of us, really challenging and difficult as well, because we have this need to control so many things, right?
Yes.
And the teaching of breathwork is to do the opposite. So there is a challenge and a blessing in that. Yes.
I remember a very, very big surrendering lesson I had recently. You know that we were supposed to go to the Soul Cycles Festival, and they canceled the festival. They took all our money. So, for example, at InnerCamp, we spent like more than 15,000 pounds. And then they just canceled the festival, and they moved to Miami, and they have like a luxury yachts company there. And the thing was, imagine for me, it's like I lost all this money that it was so hard for me to earn. And what can I do? Because it's really hard. From a legal perspective, it's really hard to get the money back. So it's impossible. Let's say that it's 99.99% impossible to get the money back. So what can I do? And one of the biggest lessons in the last, let's say 2-3 months, is to surrender and to say, I'm okay. I lost the money. I'm okay. Maybe if I really relax and I surrender, and then I open myself to receive more, to manifest maybe more clients, more money, then I'm going to get even more money than what I lost. Yeah. So this is a big lesson. And sometimes we really fight so much to get, is fairness that I should not lose this money. But on the other side, sometimes it's not about the fairness. It's about being okay with life, being okay with the human condition.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we cannot control what is happening in our environment.
Yes, and there's always teachings in that space as well, to accept every feeling that comes with that, right? The anger, the despair, but then the acceptance is at the same time. Yeah. Yeah,
right. And you were talking about losing weight. How about the diet, and how about diet and breathwork? Because lately I hear people talking about losing weight, about improving your body with breathwork.
So my magic, I think, was that because we did the breathwork in the morning, I fasted. before. So there was like the fasting, and I think we did breath work until like 11 or 12 in the morning, and then I had my breakfast, and I consistently did that, except for the weekends. And I think in that case with the diet, the consciousness around what do I ingest and what do I put in my body was growing. So it's definitely definitely a combination of the breath work with the fasting. Not everyone is ready to fast, and it's not good for everyone. So this is something that you feel personally, whether that is good for your body or not. But in general, we say don't eat 2 hours before, right? And we eat light. We eat more vegetables, more fruits, more like light food rather than very dense food, heavy food, processed foods. And I think when you're doing breath work, that consciousness comes in, that we need nuts, we need maybe a little bit of chocolate, we need something grounding, we need something earthy, we need something like greenery or whatsoever, because when we do breath work, we feel better what our body needs. And so we can use those insights through the breath work and implement it in the life. And sometimes, which is also interesting, sometimes in the sessions, we have people saying, the only thing I could think about was a big bar of chocolate or ice cream or chorizo or whatsoever. And 9 out of 10 times, what we come across when this is happening is that there is comfort in that food. And they're actually hitting this sweet point where they can't really comfort themselves. And they want something where they use food as a way of comforting themselves. And when they use the breath to overwrite it and to fill themselves up with the breath, they overwrite the narrative of having to take food in.
Wow, super interesting. Something that happened to me, and probably many people will not like what I'm going to say right now.
It's life, huh?
And we cannot cut it, is that I had a vegan diet, and at some point doing breathwork, I realized that I didn't want to have any more vegan diet. This was not healthy for me. And I wanted to remove all the processed food that I had because of the vegan diet. I realized that this is not healthy for me. This is not right for me. My digestion doesn't like it. My body doesn't like it. Yeah. So I need to eat in a healthy way, but like more what I need. So I'm not saying that you should not be vegan or you should not have this specific diet, but it's like more bringing awareness, right? It's like being aware of what your body's needing. Absolutely. So it's not creating labels. Because I like animals, I'm going to be a vegan. Because I am a spiritual person, I'm going to be vegetarian. So it's like more bringing awareness. What is your body really needing, and why do you need it?
Yeah, it's very interesting that you bring this up, because I mentioned earlier, like I have this thing with food, and there was for me a lot of beliefs around if I would be a vegetarian, I would be very spiritual. And then I became, after looking these documentaries, I became vegetarian. And then after a few months decided, no, I'm cutting out all the food, all the animal products. So became vegan as well. And I was at that moment also training a lot, doing lots of exercises. So I ate so many beans and garbanzos and what's the chickpeas and anything to get the proteins in. But after 3 months, my body was depleted. And I did a healing somewhere. And I came back home and my husband said to me, so which rabbit restaurant are we going to eat? And I said, I need meat. And from that moment on, I learned the same lesson as you. I need to listen to what my body needs in that moment. And if I put myself into a box of being vegetarian, being vegan, being a pescatarian, or being whatever meat eater, I limit, but to listen to what the body needs.
Labels.
And exactly, and those labels are damaging, and it's not making you a better person. And you, talking about this, you have an option of where you buy your food sources from. So there you can have a conscious choice and be very spiritual. But it's not about being the best person when you're vegan, right? Or when you are doing certain kind of like...
Yeah, you can damage the planet in different ways.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
Yeah. We go off topic, eh?
Yeah, completely, all the time. And I know that you love this environment, this setup, this studio, because it's a new studio that we are using.
Yeah.
And we had this amazing, what is the name of to jump? It's like Tony
The
Robbins style.
trampoline.
Yeah, it's amazing. I love that.
Yes.
And this came to my mind, this brought to my mind a technique that Tony Robbins is using, a breathwork technique. And I would like to show it to you today. It's a very simple technique. You know already this pranayama, actually what he's doing is a pranayama technique, and then he's doing an exercise afterwards. It's a meditation, gratitude exercise, and also manifestation exercise. So it's a very short one, and for anyone watching this episode today can also try it with us.
Yes,
so I'm going to
let's do
explain to you. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So what we are going to do is the Bhastrika pranayama. This is a super old pranayama, 2,000 years old, and yeah, even older than that. So it's very simple. What we are going to be doing is we are going to raise our hands. We inhale through the nose, and then we exhale through the mouth. And then we bring the hands together. We close the fists. So we are going to do this 30 times. Okay, are you ready?
I am absolutely ready.
Amazing. So close your eyes and let's start. And two more. And come into a natural breath, eyes closed. Leave your hands, the palms facing up, and thinking of something you are grateful for. Maybe something this week, maybe in your childhood, something that makes you feel happy and grateful. And connect to the elevated emotions of this thing you are grateful for. Think about that and feel it in your body. Maybe you feel it in your heart. Maybe you feel it in another part of your body. Connect to that. And now think about a mission, a goal, a target that you have in your life and you still didn't achieve. Think about that and bring this to your body, to your mind. Think about what you want to achieve in life. And feel it in your body. Imagine, visualize yourself already achieving this goal. Feel it in your heart, feel it in your womb. Feel it in your whole body and breathe like this person who achieved this goal. Behave like this person who achieved this goal. Embody this goal. Imagine that you already achieved it. It's already there. You are already that person. And coming back and opening your eyes. How is it?
Amazing.
This Tony Robbins is amazing,
This is
right?
amazing.
Yeah.
I'm on top of the world.
Now you can go on the stage and then you can talk in front of 10,000 people, no problem at all.
No,
yeah,
it's
with this
easy.
Exercise. Yeah.
It's really nice to feel how that breath is energizing. Like for me, it feels like I'm getting into the universal energies and then bringing that into me. Reaching out, bringing in. So it really feels
Yeah,
good.
wow.
Yeah.
So we were talking about performance, we were talking about releasing trauma, releasing blockages, but also those mystical states as well. So we can achieve those mystical states and we can feel this connection to everyone. We can feel this connection to you. And this is similar to religions did in the past or still do, shamans do, yogis as well do as well. It's like the same sensation. It's just that we use a very short technique and maybe we don't talk about God, we don't talk about the universe, we just talk about breathing and we talk about science, but it's exactly the same state, actually.
It's really interesting because I've been to Peru in the past year twice and working with different shamans there. And all of them are working with breath. And they don't know, they didn't have a training like us. It's just like passed down from generation to generation to generation, but they all work with the breath.
Yeah. Yes, it's coming from India, but it's also coming from the shamans. It's coming also from different mystics, different religions as well.
Yeah.
So breathwork is not only coming from pranayama.
Yeah.
It's coming from different parts of the world. It's a very old practice. And nowadays we have the science behind what we are doing. So in this exercise you were doing, you were raising your dopamine and also at the same time you were raising your serotonin. So it means that you are activating yourself, and at the same time you are grounding yourself.
Yeah.
And at the same time you're activating your vagus nerve, so that you're activating your parasympathetic nervous system, so you feel relaxed. And then you remove this cortisol, you remove this stress in your body. And then is when you remove this ego mind, is when you can connect or feel this mystical state and feel like, hey, I'm part of something big. I'm part, and everything is possible, and I can manifest what I want in life, and I deserve it. I'm a part of this plan, so everything is possible.
Yeah.
What other mystical states have you had? Because I know you have had many mystical states in the last years. So
I've
maybe
had so many.
The most interesting one that you would like to share today.
With breathwork, right?
Yes. Or anything else. Maybe now that you said with breathwork only, maybe someone watching this is thinking, okay, maybe I want to know.
No, I think the most mystical state is like I personally I work a lot with the shamanic medicine wheel and with the energies that are there. And I've used breathwork quite sometimes to connect more and to learn more from the different energies that I'm working with, among other ways. But actually I think the most beautiful experience I had in that way was that I was actually surrounded by them, and they were like literally talking to me, and I could work with them, and it was like, it was very vivid. It was very like, it was like it was happening in that space. And ever since that happened, I felt, okay, now I'm ready to work with these energies and with these frequencies. So I think that was for me one of the many profound experiences that I've had in the mystical states. Past lives, many past lives as well. Lots of clarity. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But I think that one sparks out. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what is your favorite breathwork style?
Well, I definitely the mystical breathwork. I mean, that's been my favorite since I've started, because there is so much freedom. There's not so much guidance, and I think I like being guided by the energy, by the container that we set up. So that's my all-time favorite. But from a client's perspective, working with clients, that breathwork is not always suitable for people. And I think my favorite is the breathwork for emotional release, where we work with the pendulation of activation and relaxation. And what I find so interesting is that I have clients who are very experienced in breathwork, and then they come and they're like, oh, really? 5 rounds, 6 rounds, and then only 5 minutes of breathing. And almost everyone comes out and they're like, wow, that was incredible. I had no idea of being able to go so deep in such short rounds. And I fell in love with that pendulation, with that integration in between, that I kind of like forgot all the other breath work. Just always do that in different forms and shapes with different music. But I like that format of pendulation in it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the other one that I completely was surprised by is the breath work for meditative states, because I like to move a lot. Maybe that doesn't show today, but when I do breathwork, maybe you still remember, but when I did breathwork, I was all over the place, sitting up, moving down with my hands everywhere. And then this one was not about fastness, not about speed, but it was about depth. And that depth was really felt in a profound way. So because it's so opposite of what I normally needed, I fell in love with that. And it's actually one of my favorites to facilitate as well because of that, because I feel it.
Yeah. And the thing is that sometimes the more subtle techniques are more powerful and can be deeper.
Exactly.
So those people who can with like more experience and no, I want to feel more, I want to go deeper.
Yeah.
I need to release more. And sometimes it's less is more.
Yes. And I really felt that. I really felt the power of finding the depth instead of finding the power and the fire. Just almost, if we talk about elements, less fire and more water. more of that. What's in there?
Beautiful. Yeah, these are 3 of the styles that we teach at InnerCamp in our Breathwork teacher training.
What's your favorite?
My favorite. I love the tantric breathwork. Working with my tantric energy, with my kundalini energy. This is something I really love it. And I also see really amazing, beautiful reactions in people, in clients, when they don't expect much because it's in a seated position and it's gentle, more or less. But they can feel so much, and they can feel this openness and this expansion of energy. And something that I have used a lot is the humming breath. So in through the nose, and when exhaling through the nose, you do the humming breath.
Yeah, love that one.
It's a long exhale. This is really great for nitric oxide production, so it's good for your immune system. And this was very useful for me in the last months because I got sick a few times. I was working so much, I had a few burnouts, like little micro burnouts in the last months because I was not paying attention to my body. But this kind of breath saved, let's say, my life, saved my body, and helped me really bring more health to my body, and also to stop and to say, hey, what am I doing? This is not right for you. This is not the way you want to do things. You want to work and you want to live your life.
Is there other, like you just talked about the humming breath work, and I think that is, it's a really nice one, but is there other like shorter breathwork techniques that you use to calm yourself? Is there some practices that you do regularly for yourself?
Sometimes I do variations of the humming breath. Sometimes I'm chanting Om when I'm exhaling. So, and then this is super relaxing, it's activating as well. And sometimes I really like to free diving into breathwork. I just lay down, or I sit and I start breathing in different breathing patterns. I don't follow any structure. And sometimes the biggest, like, let's say, reactions or the biggest insights, I get them when I'm doing this free breathwork.
Yeah.
It's like letting my body react in any way, letting my body breathe in any way, without ego, without labels, without checking the timing, without checking, okay, this is 2 songs, or I'm going to do something afterwards. It's having freedom, completely freedom, and surrendering. And saying, I don't care what I'm feeling. I don't care the results. I don't care that I'm going to have a session of 1 hour, and then after this 1 hour, I want to feel this, and that, and that, and that. So it's like having freedom. So I can really experience much more than, when I have a structure. Yeah. Beautiful. Wow. And anything you would like to say to the people who are listening to us today, and about breathwork, any words of wisdom?
Any words of wisdom around breathwork?
Or instead of words of wisdom, maybe a technique that you would like to offer to the person that is watching at this episode today.
Wow, you really put me on the pedestal now. I think. Let me just take a moment to feel into what I want to. Yeah. So what I think is the thing I use mostly when I'm using the breath is to use the breath to explore what's in the body. So not so much consciously breathing, not so much active breathing, but kind of like, and we can do that, just connect with your breath for a moment. Just allow that breath to go in through the nose, out through the mouth. Just help me out here. So in through the nose and out through the mouth. And just to take a moment to feel where the breath is taking you in your body. So where do you feel this breath is going? Is it in your mind? Is the breath going into your chest? Is the breath going more into your belly area? And just to witness that, just to take a moment to witness without feeling the urge to change it, but just to become aware of breath and presence and body. And just see if there's, for example, one part in your body that is asking for your attention. Maybe it's the left shoulder, maybe it's your hip area, maybe it's your heart. Just take a moment to bring that breath into that area of your body. And just to consciously take a moment to breathe into that space. And you can use the exhale to release some of the tension. And so that kind of like, you can keep going, but that kind of like practice is what I love about breathwork. It creates a calmer state. It can create body awareness. It calms your nervous system. It gives space to feelings that are being kept in the body that we often don't give ourselves or we don't allow ourselves or give ourselves the space just to feel.
Yeah.
And I think that is the magic of breath. The magic of breath gives you the opportunity to feel what's inside of the body and
Beautiful.
Just express it, whatever is there.
Beautiful. I love this exercise. I love this practice. I sometimes do this and then I include also my voice. So I use my voice.
Yeah.
So I'm checking with my body. And then I'm feeling, for example, if I feel a blockage, pain, contraction, then I use my voice and then I just let this part of my body to speak. I give voice to this part. I give voice to this pain, to the tension, and I just let it express whatever needs to express.
Yeah, and I think that is something that I might want to say something about it, because very often when we're feeling an emotion, we want to attach a story to it. So I'm feeling sadness, and but why am I feeling sad? And and then we're actually out of the process. So when we're tuning into our bodies and we're allowing ourselves to feel, it's also detaching from any stories that we're creating. So just to give permission to your body to feel what is there, whether it's sadness or anger, without having to know why, is almost crucial. And if you know why you're sad, great, wonderful. But if you don't know, but you just feel sadness, it's a gift to give to your body to just feel that sadness and give space for that. And then the clarity, the clearance, the space comes in. But I would encourage everyone to stop making stories and just to be, because when we're looking at children, they can have, and you're going to see that really soon as well, they're going to have like 3 different kind of emotions in 30 seconds. And they are not processing, oh, I feel sadness. Why would that be? You know, they're just like, oh, I feel sadness. Oh, now there's joy. It goes with like that. And we're supposed to do the same, but we forgot about that. We're so analyzing everything. And it's the opposite of what we're being asked to do. Just feel.
Beautiful said. Thank you so much, Marjolein. Thank you so much for being today with us here in this episode.
Thank you.
Uncut, without additions.
We did it.
We did it, yes. Maybe not many mistakes.
No, just a few.
Just a few.
But I think that's the perfect, imperfect selves.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
You're
and
welcome.
thank you for watching this episode. If you would like to watch more about InnerCamp and what we do, subscribe to our channel. And if you'd like to become a facilitator, we can give you more details at innercamp.com. You can also schedule a call with us. And we have many workshops. We do many workshops in many different cities. So explore innercamp.com for more information. Thank you so much for being today here with us. Thank you, Marjolein.
Thank you, Alexis.